How important is it to you to become really great at selling? Are you just doing this as a job? Is this just a way to earn money? Or is it your deep-seated passion to become great? To go out there and make a difference? Because that's what we do as salespeople. We go out there, we make a difference, we learn new things, we meet new people, and we have fun. And when we get it right, we can earn a whole lot of money. That is what we do. If you are serious, if you want to take yourself and this career more seriously, then I recommend that you think about the Street Smart Selling Skills course. It's not just another 1-day or 2-day quick fix type program. It's a proper, comprehensive selling course designed to help people just like you to get better at selling, to get more respect, to close more deals, to be seen as a professional, to be seen as the expert in your field, to eventually not have to do cold calls, but to have such momentum and to have so many referrals that business comes to you. I've been selling for 30 years and I've been in the training field for 17. And I can tell you that I have not made a cold call in the last 8 years. I did do cold calling, and this course covers how to cold call. But the course also shows you how to get beyond cold calling. Because for most people, cold calling is a nightmare. It's not fun. It's a challenge. It's a mission. We have to do it, we think. And perhaps you do to get started. But when you start becoming a street smart sales professional, when you really get a handle on what selling is, and this course talks quite a bit about what selling is, and perhaps more depth than other courses. Most other courses will talk about that moment of interaction when you're in front of a person and having confidence and having the product knowledge and reading the body language. And we cover that in this course, but we go a little deeper with the Street Smart program. I'm very lucky. The reason I'm lucky, I get to work with salespeople like you every day. I get to train hundreds of salespeople a month, which adds up to thousands of salespeople per year. And I'm honored and humbled by the fact that I'm given the privilege of working with people like you. And what I find is that salespeople want to do well. They want to succeed. They want to meet their targets. They want to be successful. Yet they don't have the time to learn. They're so busy chasing business, trying to meet their targets, that they don't really have the time to learn. But what we know is that knowledge is power. So the more you know about this profession of selling, the better you can be. And I know you want to be better. That's why you're here. So what I've done is I've taken a look at all the challenges that you face. The challenges of competition, the challenges of not meeting your targets, the challenges of price wars, the challenges of commoditization, the challenges of people not even having the time to speak to you, not returning your calls, all the quotes that are not taken up, the deals that are not closed. And I've put together a program for you. And this program is an 8-week interactive online course called Street Smart Selling Skills. And the reason I call it Street Smart is because street smart salespeople are the ones who really get it right. They don't waste time with customers that are going to waste their time. They don't chase after unrealistic deals. They focus on what works, and they close a higher percentage of deals. I've worked with salespeople who have to do 10 quotes for every 2 deals. That means they're losing 8 out of every 10 deals. And how does it feel within you to lose so many deals? You want to up your closing ratio. You want to be closing at least half of your deals. Otherwise, you're feeling like you're not a success. And feeling like a success is an important part of succeeding in the profession of selling. You know this. I also find salespeople try and hype themselves up and motivate themselves before a meeting and so on. And then sometimes their confidence just gets shattered because the person isn't there for the meeting, or they're late, or they tackle them, or they ask them difficult questions which they can't answer. The idea of this course is that knowledge is power. So it gives you a depth of knowledge that your opposition don't have. It gives you an understanding of this profession of selling that they have not learnt, and that gives you the edge. So there are 8 modules in the course. It takes place over 8 weeks, which gives you time to carry on selling, but to learn and grow and improve whilst you're on the job. So the first module, which comes on a Tuesday in the first week of the course, is called What is this profession of selling? And in this module, I'll show you that some of the richest, famous people on this planet, be they business people, be they sports people, be they politicians, spiritual leaders, have all been great at selling something. I'll start getting you to understand that even though you don't realize it, people who've made lots of money have sold something to somebody. It It was either a product or a service like you probably sell, or it was an idea or a business plan. You'll get to understand that every job interview is a sales pitch. Even when an actor or an actress auditions for a movie, it's a sales pitch. So once you get to understand that this profession of selling is the greatest profession on earth, and you start looking at the characteristics of sales professionals, because whether you look at a doctor or an engineer or an accountant or an architect, they have certain characteristics. One of the characteristics is that they have a body of knowledge. I mean, a doctor studies for 7 years to get the right to practice. I'm not saying you need to study for 7 years. That's too much. But I'm saying to you that 8 weeks is the minimum that you should consider investing in you and this profession in order to really succeed. So when you start thinking and acting like a professional, when you start taking this profession seriously, your customers start taking you more seriously. They start answering your calls. They make time to speak to you. They don't speak down to you and belittle you and force you to lower your price. They respect you because they see you as someone who adds value. You're not just a go-getter coming to take their money and their time. You're a go-giver coming to give great service. That's the first module. Second module is called What Am I Really Selling? And this looks at what are the benefits of your product, because you have to learn product knowledge. I understand that. You have to get to understand the technical aspects, but people don't buy features, they buy benefits. People buy emotionally and then they justify it with their rational mind. So you get to understand and you get to actually do exercises that help you to determine the benefits of you, firstly, because they buy you first. The second thing that you get to understand is the benefit of what you're selling, either your product or your service. And you learn how to articulate that in a convincing way, which is authentic so that people trust you. Because people don't buy from somebody that they don't like and they don't trust. And you get to do the benefits of your company and or your brand. When I say to do them, to articulate them in such a way that people go, aha, that's answered the WIIFM at the back of my mind. What's in it for me? Because that's what everybody customer is asking. Every time you make a cold call, try and set up an appointment, they're going, what's in it for me? Because you see, years ago, people were only too happy to welcome a salesperson. Wow, you're coming to visit me, you're taking the time to drive all the way to my office and come and talk to me about something which could help me or my business to be better. Today they don't have time. Today they get a belief in their head, which we cover in Module 4 with the psychology of selling. They get a belief which says, I've got a supplier. The person who is supplying me what you're coming to talk to me about, I'm happy with. I have a good relationship with them. They look after me. I don't have the time to speak to you. And you know what they're thinking? This is what they're thinking. If you do come and speak to me, you're going to tell me the same spiel that every other salesperson tells me, that you're going to give me better service. And the truth is, everyone's been promised better service, and very few people have actually experienced it as their reality. Now, Module 3 is about the psychology of selling. Not too many sales programs cover the psychology that goes on in the buying process. Essentially, sales is about a connection and a communication and conversations between two people, salesperson, customer. Sure, there could be more than one customer. It could be a husband or a wife, or it could be a person and their partner in business, etc. But essentially, it's about building a bridge. And there's a whole lot of stuff going on in the heads of people during the sales process. There's stuff going on in your head, the salesperson. So if you've got doubts, fear, negativity, the customer picks that up. For example, if you think what you're selling is expensive, and you're not going to say it, but you feel it, you actually feel, oh, I wouldn't pay this for what I'm selling, you're going to struggle to convince the customer that there's value in it, because they're going to pick up the energy that you don't believe there's value. They're going to pick that up. It works like that. All I want to get clear to you is that if you understand the basics of psychology, that all human beings are different, special, and unique, but they have a similar way of operating with a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, which are driven by belief systems. And our job as salespeople is to manage our own belief systems so that we can be confident and competent and professional, but more importantly, to change the belief systems of our customers. So you do not have to become a psychologist, but it helps you deeply to understand the psychology of selling. What drives human behavior? How do people decide? What is the process by which people decide? And how can you influence their decision so that you can close more deals? Module 4 is called the science of selling. Now, I define selling as the art and science of assisting our customers to make the correct win-win buying decision. Sounds long-winded, but there's a point to every one of those definitions. When I talk about the science, a lot of salespeople think it's about the gift of the gab and being confident and really being passionate, and that's really important. People like confidence and good communication, but there's also a science that underlies selling. And when you start getting to the science and you start looking at the tools that are available to you that will equip you to succeed, things start opening up. You start becoming more confident. You start becoming more professional. People start going, whoa, this guy's organized. Let me give you an example. Your diary. Every professional salesperson on earth has a busy, well-organized, and detailed diary. Now, it's amazing. I work with lots of salespeople, as I said earlier. Some of them don't have diaries. Some of them have diaries, and there's nothing in the diary. And it astounds me. How are you going to be organized? How can you come into the office on a Monday without having planned the whole week, without having set up your appointments? What about your follow-ups? What about your reminders? Did you know that you can put yourself in your customer's diary using the Invite Attendees facility on Outlook? It's a valuable tool. Not only can you put yourself in their diary, you can put a reminder to pop up, because I hear it over and over again. I get all excited, I get prepared to go and meet a customer and they're not there, or a crisis has come up, or they've had to attend another meeting, or they forgot. They can't forget when you put yourself in their diary and you put a reminder in that pops up and goes, ding, Mark's coming in an hour or two. That's the science of selling. And it's not just the diary. Your task list, your to-do list, okay? Your calculator, your pen, the contracts that you use, all the tools that you have need to be mastered. Salespeople generally don't like admin. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like admin either. But what the science of selling will show you in Module 4 is how to develop a simple, user-friendly, practical admin system that works for you. You don't have to love admin, but admin has to happen. Some sort of admin has to happen in order for you to be strong and successful and to thrive in this business for many years to come. Module 5 is about time management and productivity. You know as well as I do that we don't have a huge amount of time. We've only got 24 hours in a day, and we want to maximize that time. And what we want to look at in this module is getting out of what I call the busyness. I don't know if you've been in that busyness where I've been there, where you're busy and there's emails and there's things to do and quotes and follow-ups and things to fetch and drop off and pick up, and there's lots going on, and you get to the end of the day whew, and you're done. And you take a good look at it and you realize that you haven't achieved much. You've been busy, you've been in what I call the busyness as opposed to the business. You're in the business of selling. Your job is to build customer relationships and close more deals. That's how you measure it at the end of the day. You've got your targets to reach, and at the end of the day, it's not the input or what you did during the day that counts. It's what you achieved at the end that counts. So time management is really important. If you haven't heard of it yet, I'll introduce you to the Pareto principle, otherwise known as 80-20. It's a fascinating principle that shows you that only 20% of what you do in a day, which is 2 hours in a 10-hour day, is the 80% that gets the real results, is the stuff that drives everything that comes out of what you do, the stuff that you measured on, the things that are important to you as a professional. So you learn how to do the worst thing first, tackle it, get it done, and then you can be relaxed and calm and get on with it. Because your time is money. That's the biggest thing that salespeople get to understand. Your time is valuable, and you can't afford to waste it. That's Module 5. Module 6 looks at sales communication skills. Communication is the glue which binds relationships. Great salespeople are great communicators. They've learned the art of asking the right questions. You'll learn on this module how to pre-prepare a whole lot of powerful questions to ask to get your clients really thinking, wow, this is not the average salesperson. This is not just the Joe coming with a spiel and a schlep. You learn that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and in actual fact, you should be listening twice as much as you're speaking. You learn that when the customer is speaking and you're listening attentively and you're making proper notes and you're reflecting back to them, because we teach you a system called ALERT, A-L-R-T. Ask, listen, reflect, tell. Ask, listen, reflect, tell. It's a powerful, simple, practical system. In fact, the whole course is designed to be powerful, simple, and practical. It's a communication methodology that underpins every communication you'll ever have with a customer, with a supplier, or with a loved one or a family member. And what it does is it builds trust, because it shows people that you're listening. And it shows them that you're not just acting like you're listening and sounding interested in order to get the deal. It shows that you really care. Module 7 is about how to identify, acquire, and close new business. This is where we start looking at the dreaded cold call and how to warm it up and how to design a strategic offer that they can't refuse, how to give them a reason to see you, a compelling reason that sets you apart from the opposition. It's becoming more and more difficult to separate from the opposition. We need to do that. We need to stand out. We need to clarify and communicate our unique selling points to our customers. Otherwise, we're just another rep. And you don't want to just be another rep. You want to be a street-smart, successful sales professional, making a difference out there, making great money and having fun. And I'm going to say it to you again, I recommend that you invest time in training. This 8-week course is just the beginning for you. It will teach you plenty, because at the end of 8 weeks you will have completed the equivalent of 4 days of training. But it will have been paced so that you could absorb it and you could integrate it into your daily life and you could practicalize it before you moved on to the next module. So this module is all about how do you segment your market? How do you know who to approach? Who are the people that you're wasting your time with? Where's the low-hanging fruit? Where's the easier customers to approach? And how do you approach them? And how do you get through the gatekeeper in order to get to the decision maker, and if necessary, using the influencer to help them to make the right decision? So this is the one where the rubber meets the road. This is the module 7, where you take everything you've learned about the profession of selling, time management, tools of the trade, the science of selling, communication skills, and now you start engaging. And now you start getting a momentum out there, making the right number of appointments, using them in your diary, following up, having the customers, putting yourself in the customer's diary, like I said to you, and it all starts coming together. And before you've even finished the course, you start seeing the results. That's the great part. It's designed to work like that. So it's not just theoretical, come back after 2 days and try and remember everything you've learned. It's little drip feed, bite-sized chunks, easy to integrate, and off you go. The final module, of course, and you probably worked this out already, is how to negotiate effectively and close more deals. How to read body language or buying signals and know when is the right time to close. Understanding something very important. Most salespeople don't know that there is more than one way to close a deal. In fact, there are more than 10. I've taken 10 specific, well-researched, proven closing techniques which I use in my selling career, and I've included them in this program for you. So you learn about the alternative choice close and the limited offer close and the if you were me close and the suggestion close and the porcupine or the throwback close and the assumptive choice close. All of these are scientific closes which really help you to do the most important thing of all, which is close more business, up your closing ratio, meet your targets. And you will learn them and you will drill them, and they'll get into your subconscious and they'll start coming out automatically and naturally, and you'll just find customers warming to you and signing and paying the deposit. And then it starts to get a positive momentum. Your confidence increases because of the knowledge that you've got. People's respect for you increases because you're respecting yourself more and you're taking this profession more seriously. And everything starts to come together. At the end of 8 weeks, you are doing a whole lot better than you did before you started the program. And you're on a committed path of continuous professional development. You see every call as an opportunity not just to serve the customer, but to learn and grow and improve and become an expert. And then you find you start getting referrals so that you don't have to do cold calls anymore. You find you start getting repeat business. In fact, if you don't get referrals, one of the modules teaches you how to ask for them. How to ask for testimonial letters, which are written customer comments saying you are great, you're fantastic, I'd recommend you. It's about a process whereby you will grow in confidence and grow as a sales professional and ultimately become a true sales superstar. That's my mission, to help you to become a sales superstar. So that is why I strongly recommend that you look at doing this program, because it's bite-sized chunks. It's 8 weeks, 2 to 4 hours a week. You can do it in the day, in the night, in the middle of the night, on a Sunday afternoon, at lunchtime, early in the morning, just before you go home. You choose. The only thing that you can't choose is the time of the webinars. Those are the live interactive coaching experiences that you have with me once every 2 weeks from 7:30 to 9 p.m. So it's like you're attending night classes. You only have to do 4 of them in 8 weeks, to be clear, 1.5 hours from 7:30 to 9 p.m. The good thing is you don't have to travel anywhere. The beauty of this course is you get a module once a week on a Tuesday morning, first thing. And the reason I chose a Tuesday is because research shows that of all the 5 days of the week, Tuesday is by far the most productive day. You can Google it and check. So therefore, by the time you get to your inbox on Tuesday morning at 7:30, 8 or 8:30, there's your module. It's there. You can tackle it there and then. You can read it there and then. You can download the MP3 link. You can put it on your smartphone. You can listen to it while you're coming to and from work, while you're driving around. If you drive around at your computer, on any device that plays an MP3, you can listen. Then you have the option of doing a quick online multiple choice test to see that you've got the knowledge. And if you don't do that well in the test, you just go through the module again and you can do the test again. And you get the live webinars. And that's as comprehensive as we can make it for you. You've got exercises, you've got activities, you've got call sheets, you've got to-do lists. There's a number of add-ons that we include in the program to make it comprehensive so that you can feel as confident when you're calling on a customer as a doctor when a patient walks into their room, or as a lawyer when somebody approaches them for guidance or help, or as an architect, or as a pilot, or as an engineer. Because I think selling is a noble profession. I think that it deserves the same respect as doctors and lawyers. And if they need to study for 7 years, shouldn't you be willing to study for at least 8 weeks, at least, to get really good?